I am absolutely going to testify. I won't even say his name. He is an evil being and is going to pay.
I just said that it seems very odd and strange when you watch those videos with Diddy and Justin Bieber talking.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
Bieber, just looking at his body, I ain't no body language expert, but he just seemed very uncomfortable.
Justin Bieber's camp is finally responding. So his representatives told TMZ, quote, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve.
I think that I was just, living in this shame, living in all this sort of stuff in my past, and I wasn't able to move on.
Are we going to see some celebrity friends testify at this trial?
Witnesses say no one expected what happened when Justin Bieber took the stand. His words reportedly caused Diddy to lose his composure, leaving the entire courtroom in shock.
Think about how young I was and so impressionable. And you have everybody telling me how awesome I am at all times, and
It's like taking a kid and putting a kid in a room full of nothing but sweets.
Right.
And just saying, I'll be back in 2 days.
Exactly. I just want people to understand, the psychology behind why I potentially could have problems in my life.
So a lot of people watching this have probably seen this swirl on social media about a connection between Justin Bieber and Diddy. This has been going on actually for years, where people have wondered what kind of a relationship did they have, and really what people are asking is, did Diddy Justin Bieber?
Okay, I have to trim that. He said people are asking, did Diddy Justin Bieber? I had to trim that out. Just letting you know, I don't know what else is going to be said in here. But that had been the rumor. That had been speculated. And a lot of people are just trying to figure out, is that tied to the connection of him spiraling? And it just seemed like he's very depressed out there in public. And it seemed to be heightened when all the news about Diddy came out. So that was the connection.
No, it can't be, because one of the biggest questions in the Diddy trial is what other celebrities will be named, who participated in the freak-offs and who witnessed the freak-offs. I mean, Diddy's white parties are infamous. And one of the victims that people have been talking about for about 1.5 years now has been Justin Bieber. And now finally, after week 1 of trial, when we know that Don Richard is the next witness and we're going to start hearing who the government thinks is going to help corroborate their case, we are not going to hear from Justin Bieber. And it really goes back to a video when he was about 15 years old, when Combs said he was going to spend 48 hours with Justin Bieber. And that's when all the speculation began. Bieber's camp didn't say anything until now, but I think it's important that he did. And he also, like many celebrities in Hollywood, want to stay as far away from the Diddy trial.
The courtroom was already tense, but everything changed the moment the doors swung open and Justin Bieber walked in. No one expected it. His name hadn't appeared on any list of potential witnesses, making his sudden arrival not only shocking, but calculated, a move clearly meant to throw Diddy's defense into disarray. Bieber moved with quiet resolve, each step deliberate, his eyes locked forward. The familiar pop star persona was gone. In his place stood a man prepared to face the past head-on. His suit was understated but sharp, his expression serious. He had come to speak truths, no matter how uncomfortable. Diddy, typically composed, visibly faltered. At the sight of Bieber, his mask slipped. He leaned into his attorneys, whispering urgently, his fingers twitching against the band of his watch. The atmosphere shifted instantly. For years, Bieber had been known as Diddy's protege, a young talent shaped under his influence. Now he was taking a stand against the very man who helped build his career. A.S. Bieber raised his hand to take the oath. The room held its breath. Eyes darted between him and Diddy. The tension was electric. What was Bieber about to reveal? What had he witnessed? This wasn't the boy fans remembered. This was a man ready to tell his side, no matter the cost. Diddy's unease only magnified the moment. He shifted in his seat, murmured to his lawyer, but the damage was done. Bieber's presence alone had shattered the courtroom's balance. This wasn't just testimony. It was a reckoning. And from that moment on, everyone in the room knew the stakes had skyrocketed.
Yeah. So, yeah. I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, you know, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me,
Let's just say that Diddy didn't do anything to Justin Bieber. I'm just wondering, because of Justin Bieber's age at the time, did he have women? And when I say women, I'm talking about grown women come over and, you know what I mean? Because that would still be bad. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Another possibility could have happened.
Emails, the text messages, the words that she put, those words of affirmation. So to the extent that there are other victims, that's how the government's going to be able to overwhelm the defense here. And if it's a celebrity victim, even better.
See, here's the thing. You know, I think about it, and I'm sure he didn't want to. I guess the idea is, you know, not distract from the conversation that's being had, but to make a statement towards the end of the week, after opening statements, after or towards the conclusion of Cassandra Ventura's testimony, when he makes a statement confirming that there were people harmed by Combs, does that signify to you that he believes the prosecution's case, or does he think it's beyond the criminal case and based on the accusations we've seen in the civil arena?
I think it's probably the former. And like you said, the key part of that statement was denying that he was a victim, but really talking about the other victims. And it wasn't alleged victims. He said other victims, well, through his spokesperson. So I think that is very, very important. This isn't a Michael Jackson type case where, you know, celebrities are rushing to Combs' defense. Very few people are. And the fact that you have someone come out that really isn't 50 Cent or someone who, you know, is trying to make light of it, or a documentary about it, and really...
Justin Bieber's first words on the stand were calm, measured, and deliberate. There was no anger in his voice, only intent. "I'm here to tell the truth," he said, eyes fixed on the prosecution. The room fell utterly silent. Everyone was waiting to hear what one of the world's most recognizable figures had come to say. Bieber began by recounting his early relationship with Diddy. He painted a picture of himself as a young, eager teenager, grateful for the attention and mentorship, but often too trusting. "I trusted him," he said, his voice steady, though the weight behind the words was unmistakable. Then came the question about Diddy's infamous parties. Bieber hesitated, just for a moment, then said quietly, "I've seen things at those parties that I can't forget." The impact was immediate. The room tensed. He spoke of the disturbing atmosphere, how, even as a teen, he felt something was off. "There were times I knew I didn't belong, times I felt I shouldn't be there at all," he said. He described an environment where control was absolute, where no one asked questions, and everyone fell in line. These weren't just parties, they were performances with a script, and no one dared go off script at AS. Bieber shared how those experiences lingered with him, how they shaped his mental health, his career. The mood in the courtroom grew heavier. But it was a single sentence that truly shattered the moment. "I wasn't the only one. There were others. A lot of us. And we all knew it. No one said anything, because we couldn't." That statement landed like a bomb. Diddy's reaction was immediate, jaw clenched, head shaking, whispering frantically to his lawyer. The effect of Bieber's testimony was undeniable. It didn't just bolster the prosecution's case, it transformed it. By the time he stepped down, it was clear. The tide had turned, and Diddy's defense had been knocked completely off balance.
People connected with Justin's life. We're told that he didn't really have any relationship with Diddy, that all of these videos are performative, and that Justin was friends with Diddy's two sons, but it really wasn't any kind of a relationship with Diddy.
Y'all feel what I'm feeling? Hold up. He said something very interesting in there. He said that Justin Bieber isn't a victim of Diddy's. But he didn't, you know, a lot of times when you hear them talk, and I even have to throw the word out there, but he said that Justin Bieber's team said there are other victims. He didn't say allegedly, right? He didn't say there's allegedly other victims. Also, I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if Diddy is saying, or Justin Bieber is saying, his team is saying that Justin Bieber was friends with his kids, why isn't there any footage of that? You know, you just see Justin Bieber and Diddy, Justin Bieber and Diddy. You don't see Justin Bieber. I'm just saying, I ain't saying those videos don't exist. I'm just saying I haven't seen them. Any footage of Diddy's kids and Justin Bieber hanging out, having fun together. You know, to me, it sounded like Diddy was trying to take Justin Bieber under his wing, show him the industry, show him the ropes, show him all the stuff that comes with the fame, if you know what I mean.
There isn't. And the defense is obviously trying to separate physical harm from sex trafficking and sexual assault. But, you know, the average person who's watching isn't going to be making that distinction. That may matter in the case, but it's not going to matter in the court of public opinion.
And you know, Bieber's statement, it comes as this TikTok started floating around on Friday. There was a doctored image of Bieber where he allegedly announces that he's going to testify against Combs.
Diddy entered the courtroom that morning with his trademark confidence, calm, composed, in control. He adjusted his suit with precision, nodded to his legal team, and even managed a brief smile. To the casual observer, he looked unshaken, ready for whatever lay ahead. But that image began to falter the moment Justin Bieber took the stand at AT First. Diddy maintained his composure, reclining slightly in his chair, expression unreadable. But beneath the surface, cracks began to show. His jaw tightened, his gaze sharpened. He could feel the shift in the room. When Bieber began to speak, Diddy leaned forward, elbows on the table, trying to appear attentive, but his fidgeting hands and his tendency to brush off whispered advice from his attorneys betrayed a rising tension that A.S. Bieber described the infamous parties. Long the subject of whispers and speculation, Diddy's demeanor grew more strained. He pressed a hand to his lips, clenched his jaw, as if holding something back. His legal team, once calm, now whispered frantically among themselves. The air grew thick with unease. Then came the moment that broke him. "I wasn't the only one," Bieber said. The sentence hit like a blow. Diddy muttered something under his breath, rubbed his forehead, and clenched his fists. For a brief second, it looked as though he might speak out, but his attorney quickly placed a calming hand on his arm, urging silence. Observers later called it the most revealing moment of the trial so far. Diddy, long known for his poise and control, had shown something rare, vulnerability. His sharp head shake, as Bieber described feeling manipulated, spoke volumes. Frustration, denial, fear. By the end of the day, Diddy exited swiftly, surrounded by his team, avoiding reporters' questions, and in hushed tones, the question echoed through the courthouse. Had the powerful mogul finally begun to crack?
We going to see some celebrity or celebrity friends testify at this trial? Pointing the finger at anybody. But there are those who I'm sure will say, if celebrities knew something, why didn't they say something? And by the way, that came up with the Harvey Weinstein case, right? People allegedly knew rumors about his behaviors, but rumors one thing, how much do you definitively know? What do you say to that? Because again, we obviously don't know who knew what. I don't believe this trial is going to sort through any of that whatsoever. I don't think we're going to be seeing big names either being named in this trial or even taking the stand. But what do you say to the argument, somebody had to know something if these allegations are true?
Look, I think it's a fair argument, Jesse. This seems like it was one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood. How can you sexually abuse or assault people for a span of years or decades and people not know? Especially when a lot of this happened in hotel rooms or with other people around. This is the same arguments people make with respect to Weinstein or Epstein or other abusers. This isn't your typical sexual assault that is behind closed doors without other people present. That's one of the things that makes this case so unique. And look, there is going to be speculation and there is going to be rumors and there are going to be rumors. And that's what social media is all about. I mean, we saw some of the rumors dispelled this week when Cassie was saying, you know what, the baby oil didn't contain drugs. Even the government star witness is addressing some of these rumors on that witness stand. So I'm not surprised Bieber and his reps are doing the same.
And so we contacted Justin's reps and we kind of laid out what we found. And we said, look, this is what, multiple people have been telling us who were in his life, and are no longer, and also people who are in his life now. So we've talked to both. And I think that's really important because he's jettisoned so many people in his life. And they thought about it for a while and then contacted us back, and they actually gave us an on-the-record statement that Justin is not a victim of Diddy's. They said that there are other victims and they don't want to detract from them, but they said that Justin is not a victim of Diddy.
Could Justin Bieber's testimony be the turning point that redefines the entire case against Diddy? That's the question echoing through legal circles and headlines alike after Bieber's unexpected and explosive appearance in court. His decision to testify not only blindsided Diddy's defense, but also sent a shockwave through the trial's trajectory. What makes Bieber's testimony so impactful isn't just the allegations, it's the illumination of a long-standing power imbalance. For years, Diddy was viewed as untouchable, a kingmaker in the music industry who shaped careers and controlled narratives. Bieber, once under Diddy's wing as a young protege, shattered that image by recounting experiences at the mogul's exclusive, secretive parties, events long rumored to be unsettling, but rarely described in such stark detail. His testimony provided prosecutors with something they'd lacked until now: credible, first-hand insight that supports years of speculation. And the effect was immediate. The courtroom's tone shifted. Diddy, typically composed, appeared rattled as Bieber spoke. His legal team scrambled, quietly strategizing in real time, a visible sign of how damaging Bieber's words truly were. Legal analysts say Bieber's insider status gives his account undeniable weight. More importantly, his bravery might open the door for others to come forward, potentially triggering a cascade of new witnesses and revelations. Bieber also spoke of the emotional toll these experiences took on his mental health and career, turning the testimony from a legal blow into a personal reckoning. When he said, "I wasn't the only one," the courtroom fell silent. It was more than a statement. It was an invitation for others to break their silence. Beyond the courtroom, the impact on Diddy's legacy could be devastating. Once a master of image and control, he now faces a narrative spiraling beyond his grasp. The trial is far from over, but Bieber's words have already shifted the ground beneath it, threatening not just one man's reputation, but the very structure of power in an industry long overdue for scrutiny.